everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a very warm welcome to you all joining me for this week's edition of In Focus Friday, the show where we take a good close look at cool things made of silver and gold. And today we're going to be looking at this rather interesting looking piece of scrap silver. And I know a lot of you will be looking at this going, no, that's not scrap. Look at the workmanship, look at the craftsmanship and the beauty that's in this piece. And I would tend to agree with a vast majority of those sentiments. In fact, well, I did agree with them because I ended up buying this piece when I saw it come up for sale from the Silver Forum, but it was advertised and billed as a piece of scrap silver. It's actually been reclaimed from an old vase. I believe the vase was a metal one that wasn't precious metal, but this ornamental feature was deemed to be sterling silver. It was, by the way, bought from a forum member who works within a kind of bullion buying business. So they test a whole bunch of scrap bullion buying business, basically. So they've XRF'd this, tested it. It is most certainly sterling silver, even though the flowers are actually slightly different colour. We'll talk maybe a little bit about why that is in due course, but it's sterling silver. It feels like sterling. It's certainly got that weight and heft to it. It's got the kind of heat exchange. If you've ever held real silver compared with fake silver, you'll feel the heat being sapped out of your hand with the ridiculously good conductiveness that silver has. So I have no doubts that it is sterling silver. Wasn't sold at scrap prices. It was sold at a decent premium, actually. I think it was around £30 an ounce that I paid for it, including postage, which of course is not scrap prices by any means. Good premium over spot. But ultimately, sometimes scrap pieces of silver end up being other people's treasures. And whilst a lot of you out there might look at this and think, yeah, I would never touch that with a barge pole as an investment because it is just a piece of scrap, no hallmarks on it whatsoever, no markings, even 925 or anything. So it is literally just a piece of junk metal in a pretty form. And a lot of you wouldn't touch that, and that's fine. But I love it. I think it's really, really unique and different. And as a piece of silver to have, you can't, I mean, I see you can't buy these things, but I haven't seen anything like this up for sale at a decent price. If you were paying for something like this and the craftsmanship like this for a brand new piece from a craftsman or a jeweler, you'd be paying way in excess of what I paid for it there. So I personally am very happy with my purchase. I don't feel like it was something that I've drastically overpaid for in any way. But the interesting kind of way that we all justify these purchases, these sort of luxury purchases, as it were, this very much is not an investment purchase. Yes, bought it at a certain silver price. If a certain silver price goes up, then I could theoretically sell it and make a profit. The only problem that I will foresee of this is that I'm not any kind of reputable bullion exchange shop. I can't XRF this. I don't have one. I can't chemically test and prove that it is sterling silver. So as soon as I look to try and sell it, there's going to be purity related questions about it, and it's not necessarily something practical that I could look to sell on at a decent premium. I could probably sell it for scrap. People might take it off me at a low premium, but as an investment piece this was probably a terrible decision. But as a luxury enjoyment piece, very happy with it. And that's one of the ways that I've always looked at some of the silver pieces that I've bought, whether it be coins or poured silver or anything else really that's made of silver bracelets, whatever it is. If you buy something that you enjoy, that's a really good start. You can sit there and this is going to sit on my work desk now for a while. It's going to be there as my kind of go-to eye piece, my play piece, something that I can just admire and enjoy. But at the end of the day, if I have to one day take a small loss on it, that's fine too, or it would make a lovely present for somebody. I feel like this is a really unique and interesting piece, and that's something that a lot of people forget. If you've got interesting coins or interesting pieces of poured silver and you're concerned about them as an investment, if you were going to go off and buy somebody a present for £100 and they might enjoy this, then that's a present saved, that's money saved. You would have gone and bought £100 worth of something that's junk, that's not silver. This will always have a little bit of inherent value to it, which I think is really, really interesting. Anyway, so that's my theory kind of on like the junkiness of this and the fact that I think it's still beautiful in its own right, and it will continue to sort of have value in the term of me enjoying it. Now, as a piece, I really like the way that it is put together, and as I said, it is kind of reclaimed off an old vase. So there are these sort of two little sort of screw points, which presumably were the points that were linked to the vase. I would have personally thought a third point over there would have been logical because it rests kind of on 3 points on the table here on a level surface. So I don't know quite whether there's one missing there. It doesn't look like one's been shaved off, but it is still, you know, a beautiful piece in that sense. And I have, you know, ideas to perhaps mount it on a nice piece of wood, get Dad to mount it on a nice piece of wood or something like that. I think that would look really, really good. You know, it was a mount to begin with, so perhaps it should be a mount once again. Then you could have it sort of hung up against the wall and stuff. In terms of it being a beautiful piece of art, sterling silver is one of the best metals to do high detail work like this. It's one of the easiest metals to work in terms of getting, you know, sand casting, great results out of it. 999 silver is always so malleable, and if you have something like this cast out of 999 silver, let me tell you this, I'm trying to sort of flex it at the moment, it just doesn't want to budge at all. But this join here, I can tell you for a certainty that if that was 999 silver, this thing would be bending in half and almost breaking. I've started cutting up coins before and, you know, got to something this thickness level and just twist and twist and twist and it comes apart really easily. So sterling silver is most certainly the metal of choice for intricate art pieces like this. Sterling silver, as you can see, tarnishes very quickly over time. What I think is really interesting is that the petals of the flowers here are somewhat toned in a different way. Now, there's questions here. I know there's going to be questions from people on this comment section going, well, the flowers are not silver, they look like brass. Well, I think they were tested too, and they're most certainly silver. You can sort of look from the underside, and they've still got that same kind of tarnished black look as the rest of the piece. Whether or not there's something in the metal that changes that colour, or in my opinion, I think what's most likely happened is that they've just been treated in a certain way to get that slight tinging colour to them. You can tinge and change the colour of sterling silver quite easily with different chemicals, and it is probably that's happened. But it makes a contrast. It stands it out from the rest of the piece, which I think is really quite nice. So yeah, that is a piece of scrap silver, which I really, really like and I really enjoy. And it's a good sized piece as well. Like a lot of the time you might get a piece of scrap silver which is just a spoon or a fork, and that's just very generic and not particularly interesting. This is the kind of silver that I like. It's different. It's got story to it. I mean, who knows how old this is? I don't know. There's no hallmark to identify it. There's no maker's marks or anything like that. No, nothing on it at all. So we can make up any story that we like to find out where it came from, who it was made by, where it was made, anywhere in the world it could be almost. And I'd love to know your best story for this piece, your best justification of where it came from. Give me a fun little one paragraph story in the comment section about where you think this was made and how and who made it and what kind of time period it came from. It would be really interesting to see a bit of collective thoughts on that down in the comment section. And generally, if you are enjoying this piece and you like it, let me know, and let YouTube know as well by hitting that thumbs up button. It really does help a lot of what we do here on YouTube. And if you're not subscribed to the channel and you have enjoyed this content, there's a very good chance that you'll enjoy future pieces of content that we make. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and the alarm bell if you want to get notifications when we upload videos. Otherwise, that is it from me today. A big thank you to you all for watching. Have a fantastic weekend ahead, and we'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.